Good morning, fourth graders. Today we're doing lesson 4.7, going through the thousandths place. The goal of this lesson is to extend your basic concepts and notation for decimals through thousandths. So this is the portion of your learning journey sheet that we will be following today. To get warmed up, write each decimal as you hear it on your whiteboard. I'll say each one twice, and then we'll be checking to see how we did. The first one, 5/10. 5/10. The second one is 6/10. 6/10. And the final one is 2 3/10. 2 3/10. Okay, check your own. So the first one, 5/10, it would be written 0.5 means 5/10. This again is our tenths place. The second one, 6/10. And the third one, 2 3/10. Now we're going to go all the way through the hundredths place. On your board, write the number 7/100. 7/100. Your next one is 86/100. 86/100. And your final one is 4 13/100. 4 13/100. So the first one, 7/100. Again, there was nothing said for the tenths, but we said hundredths for the sevens. We put the 7 in the hundredths place. The next one, we said 86/100. And the last one, 4 13/100. For the last ones, we're going to go through the thousandths place. If this was the tenths, the hundredths, the thousandths place will be that third place over from the decimal points. Here we go. Your first number to write is 2 thousandths. 2 thousandths. Your second number is 35 thousandths. 35 thousandths. And your last number is 563 thousandths. 563 thousandths. So the first one we use 0.002 because again we have tenths here. Then we go into the hundredths. And then lastly right here we have the thousandths. Your second number was 35 thousandths. So we leave a 0 in the tenths because we want to end with the 35 being in the thousandths. And the last one is 0.563, and we read that 563 thousandths. This is the type of problem we'll be going over today, the problems that go all the way through the thousandths place. So at this time, you're going to open up your math journal to page 94. On page 94, there's a math message. Please complete this right now. Alright, one big cube we know will equal 100 longs. One long, therefore, is 1/100th of a big cube. One big cube is only going to be 10 flats, which is 1/10 of a big cube. And this is the part that's going to show us our thousandths place. One big cube is 1,000 cubes. That also means one cube is 1 out of 1,000 of a big cube. Or we can read it 1,000th. We're going to try some of this with some picturing those base 10 blocks in our head. So you're going to get a sheet like this in just 1 minute, and it tells us the total number of cubes. So if there's 235 cubes, that makes no big cubes. It uses 2 flats for the hundreds, 3 longs, 5 cubes. If we write that out of a fraction of the whole big cube then, it's 235 over 1,000. So all these fractions are going to be over 1,000 or out of 1,000. When we read this fraction, it's 235 thousandths. So we write 235 and we end in the thousandths place. Let's try the next one together. In 832, there are 0 cubes. The 8 is in the hundredths place, so it's a flat, 3 longs, 2 cubes. So we write our fraction out of 100, or 1,000. 832 out of 1,000. When we read that, it's 832 thousandths. So we'd write 0.832, or 832 thousandths. Let's try one more together. Let's do 408. So we have 0, 408. As a fraction, we write 408 thousandths. As a decimal, 408 thousandths. Let's go down to the 8. Now we have 0 big cubes, 0 flat, 0 long, but 8 cubes. It is still a fraction out of 1,000, so we'd still write 8 out of 1,000. And when we write our decimal, then it would be 0 point. We want to get all the way to the 1, 2, 3 places to the right of the decimal point, or the thousandths place. So 0.008 is what goes there. Try 790 and 64 on your own. Check your work compared to what I have up here and see if you got it correct. Alright, let's go ahead and finish this page then. So we did the 8 on the other page. So right now, on your own, try between 200 and the 27,051. Take a look at these 3 decimals. Who can read these out loud through the thousandths place? This last one then does go through the big cubes. So we write down 1 here, 8, 4, 3, which would give us 1,843 out of 1,000. We only go through the thousandths place, so this time the 1 would go out front, the decimal point, the 843. So this number would be 1 in 843 thousandths. That means as a fraction we could have written it this way, or we could erase our 1 here, and we could write a big number 1 out front, and then 843 over 1,000. Either way is correct. This one we put 27 in the big cube, then 0, 5, 1. So our fraction is 27,051 over 1,000. Which the decimal is 27 and 51 thousandths. Today, during our work time, you're going to be completing page 94, which gives you the base 10 blocks. Just like we just gave the numbers for the base 10 blocks, you're going to write it as a fraction, and then write it as a decimal. Then it's going to be on page 95, just like we did in class. They give you a fraction, you write the decimal. Then they give you a decimal, you draw it out with blocks. Now that we practiced some of these decimals through the thousandths place, grab your dry erase board and your marker again and let's practice these. I'm going to write the decimal and you're going to read them aloud first, and then we'll switch jobs. So here's my first decimal. Who can read this one aloud? Right, it's 581. And then we say thousandths. Remember, we're in thisville, so you do need to say the THS at the end of each one. Our next decimal is 0.072. Who can read this one correctly? Good. Let's go ahead and check. So this we should have said 581 thousandths, 72 thousandths, 6 thousandths, 3 and 703 thousandths, 15 and 24 thousandths, 15 and 24 hundredths, and 34 and 9 hundredths. This time I'm going to say the decimal and you write it on your board. So the first one is 367 thousandths. Again, it's 367 thousandths. The next one is 51 thousandths. 51 thousandths. Then we have 9 and 634 thousandths. 9 and 634 thousandths. The next one is 3 thousandths. 3 thousandths. And 5 and 79 thousandths. 5 and 79 thousandths. So on your board, the first one was 367 thousandths. It should look like that. And then 51 thousandths, so 0.051. 9 and 634 thousandths. 3 thousandths. 5 and 79 thousandths. And that's where we ended. So today, as you're going through, make sure you check your own learning journey sheet that you're staying on track. We went over the first two together. This Math Masters we did in class. Your teacher will be checking that you completed all of these, and then we're specifically checking number 4 on Math Box 4.7.